Hello, everybody. It's me, Demetra K. Hope you're having a great day. I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. It is Sunday. I know I was missing an action last week, but I took a little vacay. My niece and nephew came down, but I'm back in the saddle for a while anyway. But I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You aren't the other side of the conversation. To my wonderful moderators, thank you for everything that you do in holding down the comment section. It is much appreciated. Today we're going to be talking about, and this is not satire, this is for real, okay? Yes, Donovan is back. He was playing hooky, but we are glad he's back. But nevertheless, this is not satire, okay? A Democrat wants immigrants to receive reparations from America due to, the ICE raids and the things that the Trump administration has done to these immigrants, many of them illegal immigrants. And I'm going to get into all that in just a second. But while we are waiting for everybody to trickle on in, and before I give it to Donovan, just want to remind you that I will be with Brother Phil and Sister Vicky at the Ohio Black Expo, May 23rd. In Columbus, Ohio, to be exact. If you want to see us and speak to us and have a conversation, all that, please go to ohioblackexpo.com to get your tickets. They are having a sale this month. The month is almost over. So if you want to go, please hurry and get your tickets. Now, it's not just going to be us there. It's going to be music and food and you name it. It's going to be there. So please get your tickets. Also, we will be in Toronto, Canada, July 25th, and we will be having an AD&C Narrative Power Summit. We being Brother Phil, Sister Emma, Brother Theo, myself, and Dr. Vibes, and a whole host of other people. It's going to be a great event. Please come on out again, Toronto, Canada, and get your tickets at africandiasporanews.org/Canada, africandiasporanews.org/Canada. Donovan, what say you?
Hey, what say me? It's 3 o'clock over here in the West Coast, so that means it's Demetra K time. Hey, we want to thank you guys for tuning in with us, having this conversation with us. We know you could be other places and doing other things, and you guys decided to tune in and hang out with us. Again, you guys are part of the show. We wouldn't have the show without you guys, so trust me. Demetra and I talk about it all the time, this journey that we all have been on. And, some of you guys have been rocking them with us so long. It's like, we're talking to you guys like from back in the day, like you're just part of the family. So thank you guys so much for the support. Do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe on your groups and your channels. That gets the algorithm going. Also, if anything, to continue to have these great conversations, you want to continue to have them and motivate the moderator here, you could buy her a cup of coffee. Just hit that like button. It's absolutely free. But if you want to donate, there's ways you could do that. You could do it Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money order, however you guys want to do it. Also, graduation is coming up for a lot of these young people. And unfortunately, a lot of these young people don't have common sense. But the best thing you can give somebody is the gift of knowledge. And even some of our older folks, the gift of knowledge. And the African Diaspora News Channel is one way to do it. It keeps you up to date. Not only do you get great videos from Demetra K, Brother Phil Scott, Wongel, Vicky Dillard, and a whole host of contributors there, you also get original content like the Emancipation Channel. And one thing that I do like, which is really awesome for me, and I made sure I put my alert, I hit that alert button so I get everything, is the African AI that they have going that drops gems that, to me, is common sense. So again, the African Diaspora News Channel app, you can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. This is going to be interesting because I'm going to say this real quick before you guys get into it with us. If the descendants of the slaves of the United States are still fighting to this very day to get reparations, what makes these immigrants think that they are going to jump in front of the line and get it before us? They've been getting it in other ways. We understand that. But the fact of the matter is to get it outright. This is going to be an interesting conversation.
Absolutely. And hello to everybody so far. Of course, we'll get into your comments in just a second. Lorenzo, what's going on with you? And Brother James, we haven't forgotten about Chicago. There's a lot to talk about. I am paying attention to what's going on in Chicago. So we haven't forgot about y'all. Monet, what's going on with you? And Tyrone, what's up? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. So, of course, you guys know there's a lot going on in this country. Some say we are in the middle of a war that doesn't seem like there's an end in sight there in the Middle East between the United States and Israel and Iran. And, sound like the Houthis have gotten involved, Lebanon, and a whole host of things, right? But, of course, here in the United States, there's still this thing called, immigration. Where the Trump administration said when he, was campaigning that he would be conducting a mass deportation effort to combat that of Biden's mass immigration, where him and Kamala invited a whole lot of people over, right? Trump was like, we're going to undo that. And so they have been working to do that now. It is said that last year in his first year of his second term, that about 2.6 million people either self-deported or were deported by ICE and things like that. And so, of course, the efforts are still continuing, although we don't really hear much about the ICE raids now. Now, of course, you guys also know that the government is partially shut down, where the Democrats are refusing to, I guess, come to the table with a deal to help fund Department of Homeland Security regarding the TSA agents at the airport. And so they are not getting paid, although it sounds like Trump has signed some executive order to start having them getting paid on Monday. That remains to be seen. But with that, there's been a lot of foolishness at the airports. I just dropped my niece and nephew off at the airport here in Houston. The line was all the way down, downstairs by the tram. It only took us about an hour to get, through TSA, so it wasn't bad. But there were ICE agents there, and they were just, kind of helping people get here, there, and handing out water bottles. Nothing major, right? So anyway, of course, you guys know that with all of that, there was the big giant brouhaha in Minneapolis where two people lost their lives due to ICE raids, one being Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Of course, we cannot leave out brother Keith Porter there in Los Angeles. Now, we saw a lot of Democrats, liberals, or whoever it is, they were fighting and protesting against ICE agents who were conducting ICE raids, okay? Now, when Greg Bovino was in charge of that in Minnesota, it was just ruckus, right? And then the border czar, Tom Homan, was sent to Minneapolis to speak to Democratic leaders, and everything seems like it just kind of calmed down because he says we're going to take a calmer approach to what's going on. And from that point, you really haven't heard a lot about it. Okay. So again, the Democrats are refusing to do the dance with the Republicans in order to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Well, there is a representative by the name of Pramila Jayapal. Okay, she is from Washington. Now I'm going to show y'all a snippet of her advocating for reparations for immigrants, and here's partially her reason. So here we go.
Jayapal lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us, and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created. And we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
Okay. So again, that was a representative, Pramila Jayapal from Washington. She has been there since 2015. Now, along with that, she says that when the Democrats get back in power, they are going to be putting reparations for immigrants on the table. Of course, she cited them being traumatized, right? The children being separated and attacked and things like that. And so she's like, yeah, we are going to make sure that reparations, some form of it, right, is on the table for immigrants. Now, mind you, we are talking mostly about illegal immigrants. She is championing for reparations. Okay. Now, she also is saying that we are going to hold ICE agents accountable. They are going to have to come before us and answer for what they have done to these immigrants. Okay. Now, just a little bit about Miss Jayapal. Now, again, she is from in the House of Representatives for Washington. She's been there since 2015. She is the first Indian American woman, I guess, to serve in the House of Representatives. She is the first Asian American to be a representative from Washington. Is a whole lot of first of stuff, right? She also is a civil rights activist, and that's what she was before she went to Congress for an immigrant rights organization called One America. It sounds like she's one of the founders of it. Again, they fight for the civil rights of immigrants, okay? Which is, to me, is kind of odd, especially we're talking about illegal immigration, right? That they even have civil rights here, but okay, let's keep on moving. Now, she was born in India, and she became a citizen in 2000, okay? And she also fought against the Bush administration. In fact, she sued them because the Bush administration, Bush Jr., was trying to send, Bush Jr. trying to send 4,000 Somalis back, okay? So she sued and they weren't sent back and this, that, and the other. She also raised over $400,000 for her homegirl, Kamala, when she was running this last time. Now, of course, I looked in her district, and it's not a surprise that there is a large Black voter base, as it is with any Democrat, right? On average, any Democrat, depending, no matter what they're running from, can see about 80 to over 90% of the Black vote, okay? So she is a beneficiary of the Black vote. Now, with all that being said, again, she wants to fight for immigrants to get some form of reparation due to trauma. Now, people who have gotten reparations from the United States government is slave owners, right? They got $300 per slave that they lost after slavery ended, okay? This is the white folks, slave masters, not the slave, but slave owners, okay? Of course, we know the Japanese got a form of reparations from the Ronald Reagan administration due to being in those internment camps during World War II. Should be said that victims of the Tuskegee experiment, they got a total of $10 million for survivors, health care, which is nothing, okay? Drop in a bucket. Of course, y'all know what happened with the Tuskegee experiment if you don't Google it. Some victims of Rosewood, the massacre, they got something. Some who were sterilized by the United States government, specifically that in North Carolina, they got some form of reparation. A lot of those cases, they weren't really like money. It was some other compensation. But it should be said that no federal government reparations have been given to descendants of slavery, right? Black folks, to say the least. Now, of course, we know that Black Americans have been asking for reparations since our people were freed from those plantations, right? And we have not gotten it. We've been told no 459 million times by everybody, okay? Even the Democrats, especially that of Kamala Harris, who infamously said, no, I'm not going to do something that just benefits Black people, right? We've heard Obama say, I wasn't going to do it because I didn't want to make everybody else mad, okay? Now, we do know that the Democratic Party, they are huge on a study, okay? They want to get a study, HR 40, that's the federal study of reparation that has not gone anywhere. I think it's only passed through the House, but right now it sits on a shelf somewhere collecting dust. Again, we do not want a study, but did y'all hear that woman say anything about a study at all? She said that they being immigrants, need reparations for the trauma that have been exacted upon them. And when they get into office, they are going to put it on the table. They're not putting a study on the table, people, for immigrants. But for us, we need a study, and nobody cares about our trauma. This is the Democrats. That's not a Republican doing that. That is a Democrat who is an immigrant to America, who has gotten in office, and now she's going to use her power to advocate for who she's always advocated for, and that's immigrants, and specifically illegal immigrants. She's going to get them compensation for being over here and being traumatized when they were here illegally in the first place. And you know what really got me hot? I'm not really mad at her. You know who I'm pissed off at? I'm pissed at us. Because even to this day, even hearing this, Black folks will go and show up and not just vote for her. They're going to vote for every other Democrat who is going to get, see, I think she is sent I think she is sent by the rest of the Democratic Party to get up there and say, oh, well, we're going to fight for, reparations for illegals, because they know that they're really trying to get them on board as a, voter base and all this other stuff. Now, I know a lot of people are pissed off because Trump is in office, but I am one of those people who have unapologetically said one of the things that I like about the Trump administration is that he is like on immigration, and that everybody can get it. Because if Kamala would have got in office, it would have been worse, okay? If you think it's bad off right now for Black Americans, it would have gotten worse. But again, Black folks are going to show up to the polls and going to vote for this woman and all of her homies. And then because I firmly believe, okay, that they are going to flip at least the House of Representatives. They're at least going to flip that, okay? A lot of people are pissed off. Yesterday was the No Kings march all over the world, okay? So I think they're going to flip one part of Congress. And when they do, Black Americans, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this once. You could kiss your Black ass goodbye, okay? You could kiss your ass goodbye, because they are going to continue on with the benign neglect of us. Now, before I give it to Donovan and I get into the comments section, another thing that has got me hot under the collar, yes, I am sweating, is that a lot of, not y'all, but them, silly Negroes, y'all mad at Chili from TLC, the group, because y'all done dug off in somebody's business and found out that she done donated something to Republicans or a Trump campaign, and now y'all bullying her and want her to bend down and apologize and all this other stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, now they're more mad at Chili for giving her damn money to who she wanted to give it to, but you ain't mad at the Democrats for kicking you square in your ass by her sitting up there talking about they're going to give immigrants reparations when they get in office, and they keep telling you no. Let me be quiet for my head to just pop off my neck. Donovan?
Well, you pretty much have said it. I mean, anybody that stands for common sense and uses their logic makes totally no sense what is going on. But again, I'm with you, Demetra. I don't blame the player. I blame the game. Okay. We see what's going on. It's right in your face. And yet, and Demetra and I were talking about this before we went on the show. I have, matter of fact, there's a person in the chat right now. And this person, Nirvana, Tyler, Texas. Of course, this is probably a bot or whatever, these people that come on. She's asking, what reparations has the Democrats, or I'm sorry, the Republicans given, or something like that in that regard. That isn't the question. The Democrats haven't given, we know the Republicans aren't giving us nothing. Why is it that that's the first thing they go to? Well, what are the Republicans going to give you? 60 years of voting Democrat, shouldn't the question be, after 60 years of voting Democrat, what has the Democrats given us? Oh, that's right, zero. It's a deflection. And again, why are we surprised at this? If you watch the State of the Union this year, did you not see when Donald Trump asked at the end of the day, if you agree with me, Americans should be put before illegals, stand. I think the only Democrat that stood was Fetterman. I believe he was the only one that stood. What is that telling you guys? They are telling you guys they do not stand for American people. They are standing with the illegals. And remember, what was it, Demetra, 2 years ago? What did I say? The reason why they are flooding in with these illegals, and this is just my hypothesis, and I think, once again, I think I was right. It was for the census, because the rule or the law is you do not have to be a citizen to be counted in the census. So if you have more people that are beheld to the Democratic Party for letting them in the country, that is more congressional seats and power you're going to have. But what the Democrats don't understand is the Latin diaspora. The Latin diaspora is very conservative. At least half of them are. And if you look at most elections, 60-40 is how the Latinos go. Look at the Cubans. I will vote for Donald Trump so on, so on, so forth. So this thing that they tried to do actually backfired. We are the only group that takes basically 90-something% of our vote and gives it to one party. This is why the black vote is so crucial to the Democrats. And I'm not saying that the Democrats are not going to win some seats or whatever the situation is. But I will say this, and tell me if you guys agree with this. And Demetra and I were talking about it. Once again, it's up to super Negroes to come and save the Democratic Party, their most loyal base. So once again, black people have leverage. We have leverage. What are you going to give us for our vote to put you back in power? That's what I want to know. What are you going to, you need our vote. Every last vote counts. They can't afford to lose any votes. Every vote they can get is important. So what are you going to give us? Oh, if you're not going to give us anything, let the chaos reign as far as Donovan's concerned. Let the chaos reign. But what are the Republicans going to do you? Whoever said in the chat that I said earlier, what is the Republican going to give you? Why do I need to talk about Republicans when we give 90-something% of our vote to one party? I don't need to the Republicans ain't going to give me nothing. They're going to give me nothing. But shouldn't the party that I do give my vote for give me something? What do you guys think?
See, that's just too much common sense, though, and like I said, for me, I just get fed up with people who refuse to think. Like you said, why would I have a conversation about something that we don't do? You know what I mean? We give most of our votes to the Democratic Party and they do nothing for us, but you want to bring up the Republicans. Why are you so dense? Anyway, Brother Thunder says, how much longer and how many more times must the Democrats kick us in the hind parts before we get the message? When they remain seated, when as citizens come first, what more do you need? Well, they brainwash. And for me, Brother Thunder and Brother Donovan and the rest of y'all, I'm tired of being nice. I really am. I'm past being nice. I don't say I want to be mean, but I'm just tired of pretending, because some people just want to be stupid. And I do mean that with all my heart. Some people just want to be stupid. You know what I mean? And they want to sit up and cry. And I'm not saying necessarily about the person who asked about the Republicans, but it's like the Democrats have showed you who we are. Listen, for those of y'all who just came on here and you think I'm lying, here we go, okay? Because I know that some people probably like, you're kidding me.
Jayapal lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability, because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us, and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created. And we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
Y'all heard her, okay? That is not AI. That is real. So, Brother Thunder, I don't know what it's going to take. Some people just like being stupid. What else can it be? All this good knowledge going forth and you still stupid? Like, for real. I don't get it. Let me skip down. And Brother Don says, no, we need ours before anyone else. Everyone has gotten reparations before us. This be down. Got hers already. Gloria, how you doing? Says this woman is appalling. Her name says it all. Jayapal, right? It says all reparations for the illegal immigrants. These people have lost their little minds, but we help them do it. She knows her voter base, right? She's a Democrat. Her biggest voter base is Black people. She knows that we're going to show up because we scared of the boogeyman Trump. And I'm not saying Trump is, Trump has got to go, okay? He can't run again no damn way, right? His little kingdom and all this stuff. If you're paying attention, all of it is falling apart anyway. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But she knows her voter base is Black folks, and we're going to show up because we scared as hell. And I'm not all of us, but a lot of us are just stupid, right? And then a lot of people, and this is why I'm probably going to get in a little bit of trouble. Y'all remember when Kanye said slavery was a choice? Now, we know he wasn't talking about back on the plantation. I firmly believe, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said he understood it too. The decisions that we make, the things that we do, even right here in 2026 as Black Americans, we are choosing a lot of the things that go on with us, we are making this a choice. How do you take your black self to the booth and vote for a party who will tell you that illegal immigrants need reparations before you? What have they done to deserve that? We didn't come over here because we wanted to. We were forced over here. Those people came over here because they wanted to and knew they were here illegally, refused to leave, and then got escorted out of here. And then that lady right there talking about they deserve some reparations, she gonna put it on the table when they get back into power. Man, that makes me mad. I ain't been mad like this in a minute, I promise you. This is crazy because I already know what's going to happen. Midterms come and a bunch of sleepy Negroes going to go to the poll and skiwi and all this other foolishness you got going on, you know, and Roland Martin, I'm spicy right now. He going to roll by the polls crying while eating grandma cookies and Jamal Bryant gonna get in the pool pit talking about how we gotta vote, and they hear this woman talking about giving illegal immigrants reparations, and now the Negro got a check to show for anything they've done for the Democrat Party. Ooh, boy, I tell you what, thank God I got some sense because I want to go off. Anyway, Beverly says all this fraud money, but illegal immigrants need reparations. I mean, they already got reparations, especially the ones in Chicago, and they telling black folks that's why you don't get no money. Huh?
No money for you.
Y'all ain't seen me this mad before, I don't think. Brother James, you say the Democrats don't suit for us. No, they why would they? But they're like, we ain't gotta do nothing for them. They stupid. They gonna show up for us no matter what we do. Carnegie, how you doing? Said Donovan, does all these Democrats know that what the word reparations mean? I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, and I answered that no. The Democrats know what the word reparations means. The people that they talk to don't know what it means. That's the difference.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many black folks don't know what reparations is. They don't. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Says Grand Rising. He says this is why FBAs don't support these Democratic politicians because they are standing 10 toes down for immigrants. Yeah, in our face. They doing it in our face. Like, how dare you, Bill?
Wait, real quick. Nirvana Tyler, Texas says push reparation laws. How do you do that when there's nobody in Congress that represents the interests of black people? Most of your black representatives, Nirvana, are Democrats first. And the Democratic policy is not to give blacks anything. The Democratic Party was funded specifically to keep black people in slavery. Thus, the Civil War was fought. And when they lost the Civil War, they started the KKK as a military arm to make black people, if they let them vote, you better vote Democrat. So how do you push reparation laws when you don't have grassroots representation to get those laws in order? And don't get me wrong, reparation laws have been pushed, but like what happened here in super Democratic California, did it ever make it to the floor?
It's crazy, y'all. I promise you, I'm mad. I am really mad. I saw that. I was like, this got to be a doggone joke. This got to be a joke. And I'm like, no, it's not. She's for real. And the other lady sitting next to her. You know, so they're in agreement. And don't y'all think for a moment that these black Democrats ain't in lockstep with them. Don't you think for a moment, right? All of them. They're going to do their damnedest to get reparations for how do you get reparations as an illegal immigrant and you gonna put it on the table? I'm confused.
Our tax dollars. Our schools are closing down. We can't get universal health care. We can't get anything for the American citizen, but yet we have $1 trillion military budget.
Hey, Friday, how you doing? Y'all check out my interview on it's not the Black Civics Collective, it's something else. I put the flyer up on my page and the video if y'all want to check that out. I did an interview with Miss Jones yesterday.
Wait a minute. I've only been gone a week now. I own all rights to Demetra K. None of that was cleared through me. Do y'all see how Demetra be doing me, you guys? Doing side gigs.
Hey, you got to ask for forgiveness, not permission, okay? But yeah, I'm not mad at Chili. I mean, that's her business. Chili can do what she want to do with her money, but Negroes want her to bend over and kiss the ring, because they feel like she owed them something. You know what I mean? But like I said, you more mad at Chili than you are the Democrats, especially sitting up here talking about they want to get illegal immigrants some reparations, and y'all got time to be mad at Chili. It just make me mad. It really does. Hey, Albie, chill. And Tyrus, what's going on? She says, at this point, I believe we need to come together with our people on the continent and leave this place. Yeah, but in Black Americans, we got to come together because you see the foolishness we got going on here, right? We got some straightening out to do in our own community first. But yeah, I wouldn't be above leaving here. I'm not in love with America, right? They just need to run me my money first. Let's see, who else haven't I seen? Global Logistics. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Daphne, what's going on? Says Black Americans still don't. Democrats are not for Black Americans. No, they never have been. They and now they're not even pretending. Like, how do you sit your funny looking self up there and then talk about you gonna get illegal immigrants some reparations for the trauma they've been through? Like, hello, Black Americans are still going through trauma, and you talking about it? They can't vote for you. Illegal immigrants can't vote for her. She gonna expect for us to go vote for her while she's sitting up there talking about when they get back in office, they gonna fight for some reparations for illegal immigrants. What in the bleep?
Shouldn't we be asking ourselves this? And I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at Ilhan Omar. This is what you're supposed to do to represent the people, your people. This is what you're supposed. Why isn't, my question is, why is it that a Black face that looks like us don't go hard in the paint for Black issues? We have a CBC, the biggest congressional caucus that does for everybody else, and they go to the floor for other groups. But when it comes to Blacks, well, we tried.
Right. Brother James says, again, Elijah Muhammad said, what have we gotten from the Republicans and Democrats when it comes to freedom, justice, and equality? When are we going to talk about that? Well, we know we've gotten nothing from them. Well, the ultimate call is to do for self. So the Democrats nor the Republicans are going to do anything. But I'm just like, come on, man. At some point in time, Black folks got to wake up. We don't vote for the Republicans like we do the Democrats. And that lady's a Democrat, and she sat up there and said that she was going to be fighting for immigrants to get a form of reparations for the trauma that they brought themselves here to get. They know they was coming over here to an adverse situation. You heard when Trump got in office, he said he was campaigning that you was getting up out of here, but yet you stayed and you hide out. The Trump administration was giving them some reparations. They said, if you leave, we'll give you $1,000 and a plane ticket. And yet they still stayed. And here she is talking about they're going to get some reparations if they get back in power. Whew. Boy, I tell you. Hey, Black America, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Says, we are cooked. Well done. JJ says, too many backwards ass thinking. FBA can't think straight. Democrats know that many FBA have about two brain cells. I mean, we just brainwashed, and I just hate that for us. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired to the point I need to take a nap. It's exhausting. I don't get it. Like I'm one of those people. I don't say I have a lot of pride. I don't, but I would say I'm a little bit. I'm competitive to a degree. And when I see everybody else running circles around us, they getting their thing going on, and they got getting their foundation, and we like, I'm gonna vote for the Democrats because the Democrats ain't for Black people. That pisses me off. It does. I think we ought to stop trying to be nice, really, because 90%. I'm mad. 90% of Black folks, and it's nice to vote for the Democrats, so I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm brand new, but 90% of Black voters are effing up the rotation for the rest of us. You're willfully being stupid. Now, I want to know, is Roland, Joy, any of these other shields, are they going to talk about this? Are they going to talk about this woman talking about getting reparations for illegal immigrants? Hell no, they ain't going to talk about it. They're not going to talk about it because then they have to admit, yeah, Black people have a Democrat problem. The Democrats don't have a Black people problem. We got a Democrat problem where we're brainwashed. We're just silly and we sleepy and we stupid. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, and real quick, Nirvana Tyler text. See, this is when you have these trolls that come in, and we're glad you're here because you're helping the algorithm. When has Trump ever even said the term FBA before? He said that when he was talking about birthright citizenship toward the Black American. But see, this is what I'm talking about, Nirvana Tyler. You're always trying to deflect rather than saying what the Democratic Party has done. Please tell us, or at least tell me, why I should vote for the Democratic Party. Tell me why I should vote for them. Oh, because Trump bad? That's not good enough. What am I going to get for my vote? And from the look at your profile, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm done trying to convince people. I'm just about to be calling. I know it's wrong. I probably will, once I get some sleep, feel differently. But I'm gonna just start calling people stupid. Okay, or find a nicer word to do it because I'm tired of talking. I just, to me, I just think some people just want to be stupid, and that's okay. If you just want to be stupid, then we stop talking to you. You know what I'm saying? But you want to sit up and sign the rest of us up for nonsense because you emotional. Like seeing this woman talk about reparations for illegal immigrants, that really should be the final nail in the coffin for the Democrats. But it won't be, because there'll be a lot of Negro explaining going on. Well, you know what this and Trump, you know. I just sometimes mad, peaceful, and I think that's apropos right now. It says the Democrats will lose the next election if she keeps talking. That gets out, that's a problem. It should get out. That's why I'm talking about. We should talk about this for a week. We should find different angles. When I say we, I mean Black media, not the sucker Black media, but the real Black media. We should talk about this for a week. We should not let off the gas until everybody and their mama and their mama's mama hear this woman say that she wants to fight for reparations for illegal immigrants. Like we should keep talking about this. Okay, I'm just saying. Abichill says, Donovan, don't be trying to make sense, sir. Right, let me skip down, y'all, because I see I'm terribly behind. Brother Samuel says, I believe the powers that be know who we are as Black people, and our future destiny of the new leaders will give to whoever sides against us, thinking they can control them and maintain power. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let me just say this. Mm-hmm. I hope you guys understand what I've been saying, and Demetri and I and other hosts, Brother Phil Scott especially, have been saying. Politics is about power, money, such and such and such. The Democrats have to start losing a couple of cycles of election before they will bow down and give in to our demands. We have to let them lose so that they will realize, hey, we can't be the shot callers until we give these Negroes something.
For me, like, oh God, I don't know. I can't believe it. I'm not saying her. I just like when I stop and think that we are going to show up overwhelmingly to vote for them when they just right off in our tailbone. It's nauseating, because there'll be 11 Negroes wanting to argue you down as to why you should continue voting for more of nothing. I can't believe it. Shiloh says, Demetri on here giving them that Dr. King from the Return of the King episode of the Boondocks. Finally, I love it. I was here for it. I mean, I'm just like, y'all believe it or not, I do have people holding me accountable. Like if I say something on here crazy, my sister will call me. You can't say that. You can't. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I got to be nice. I don't want to be disrespectful to nobody. So I'm not trying to do that. But I think we just got to get past the point of just trying to be nice. Some people... Anyway, let me continue on these comments, because boy, I tell you what, Brother Don says if they didn't bring their funky behinds over here illegally, they would be nothing to repair. But they glossing all over that. You know, what about some reparations for our brothers and sisters that's in prison for something they didn't do, and then when they get out, they got to fight for some sort of compensation for being locked up unjustly. You know what I mean? Why don't you take your ass to the local prison in your state and fight for people who are there and they shouldn't be? What about that? No, she ain't gonna do that. And, like I said, her Black Democratic colleagues, they're not going to say nothing about it. I ain't seen the NAACP talk about it, although I saw them talk about the No Kings protests, ICE out. And I've seen them talk, and as Congressional Black Caucus, are they going to, hold her accountable for that foolishness? No, they're not going to do that because they know we're not going to hold them accountable. And it pisses me off. Let me skip down a little bit. Daya, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says neither party will give us reparations, nor will they ever represent our people in any valuable way. So leave both parties, leave this foolish system. I agree. I'm nonpartisan. Okay, neither one of them can have my loyalty, right? Common Man, how you doing? Says now classified as a crime against humanity. Yeah. So, and of course, with the UN vote, the United States, Israel, and Argentina was the three that voted against reparations for Black Americans due to the transatlantic slave trade, and their reasoning was, well, we don't want to make it a hierarchy for crimes against humanity, for certain people. And at the time, slavery wasn't illegal. That's their reasoning, right? But my goodness, Carmen, how you doing? You say you telling the truth. Well, thank you. Everything belonged to God. Yes, it does. How you doing? Says y'all are killing it today. Yeah, I just think we just kind of Sister Cynthia says, well, Trump tried to tell y'all and show y'all their game plan. Yeah, I agree with you, but we got so many people are so emotional and they want to tie the rest of us to the plantation because they're emotional. When Roland said, when Joy said, I don't care what they got to say, right? Well, we don't care. They've been, tying us to plantations through their foolishness. And a lot of us are just like, no, we don't want to be on the plantation no more, right? Brother Samuel says, wow, a party Democrat that says illegal immigrants need reparations before Blacks. Y'all, I'm going to play it again in just a minute for those who came on here and maybe think I'm lying. Hey, Brooklyn lady, how you doing? Hope you're doing well.
When a person shows you who they are, you better believe them the first time. And the Democrats showed you on national TV. Simple question, a no-brainer. If you're a politician, Demetria, you were a political consultant. It's a no-brainer. Anything that has to do with the American citizen, you are supposed to be for, not against. If you're for the American citizen, please stand up. Democrats sat. What does that tell you? That is their answer to a very simple question. You better believe them, because look at their actions.
Hey, you. Thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you, says Demetria K. and Donovan Cowboy Jenkins down. I heard y'all was moving to Nevada so that I could vote for y'all. Is that true? I don't know about all of that. Haven't thought about moving to Nevada, but thank you. And Sister Sunlight says, better yet, how do you support any candidate who has unwavering support for Israel after Israel and the United States voted against the acknowledgement of slavery being the biggest crime against humanity? Yeah, both the Republicans and the Democrats, they end like fleeing for what's going on over there in the Middle East, right? So I agree with you. Thank you so much, Billy. Love and appreciate you for that. You say it's true. Okay, and Diesel Purge was going on, says, don't get mad, get even. Yeah, don't show up for them, right? Yeah, Albert Chill, they did. They said, no money for you, you lazy. That's what they told the Black Chicagoans at the City Hall meeting. You lazy. Huh? Black America says she's the only one talking like this. It's not a big deal. Well, why does she feel that she could say something like that? You don't think she talked to her Democrat colleagues and they are maybe on board with that? You saw the lady next to her was shaking her head in agreement. I want to see the copious tweets from the Black Democrats, or are there any Democrats saying, nah, she don't speak for us? Hell no. Illegal immigrants don't get no reparation. I want to see their pushback. Well, I haven't seen it. Now, I'm not saying they haven't. I haven't seen them do it. So why would she get up there and speak so freely? She says, we, okay? When we get back in power, we are going to put reparations on the table for immigrants who were
Well,
traumatized.
Demetria, why do you think she can speak freely like that? I'll tell you why she thinks she can speak freely like that. Because most of your congressional Black caucus members and the one that's in control are first generation American immigrants. So when you have that, they have a strong tie to the homeland to which their parents immigrated to versus more so than being here in America. That is a reason why she could talk so freely, because they are on the same plane when it comes to immigration. Oh, my grandmother immigrated here. When you're talking about 1 or 2 generations from, you might as well say now. You can identify with the immigrant, illegal or illegal, now. And that's why she speaks so freely. When these first, second generation immigrants are coming into our country or this country and have an agenda, this is why they feel that they can speak freely.
Yeah, and she's got her citizenship. She's born in 1965, and she got her citizenship in 2000. And she over here talking about some reparations for illegal immigrants. Boy, I'll tell you what. Avenge the ancestors. Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Yeah, windmilling is to say the least, right? I am fighting mad. Soda says, I swear, if I see Isaac Bryan or any of California Congressional Black Caucus pushing for this and they get back in, bye-bye, Black people, get out of my face. Yeah, it's a matter of time before they do. I mean, they're already fighting for some form of reparations for illegal immigrants, right? Of course, they're in Los Angeles. Karen Bass, she got the Angelino card cranked up for them because they scared to leave the house because of the ICE raids. And so she's giving them money. She says it's, donor money, but she's still giving it to them nevertheless. They get a form of reparations. They okay with that.
Right. And the donor money, we don't know where that money's coming from. And again, when it comes to California, Karen Bass just gave 2,100 homeless Asians $1 million. But in LA County, we're just talking about LA County, there's over 21,000 homeless Blacks, but she gave 1,700 homeless Asians, which is unusual. Let's be real about that. It's very unusual to see a homeless Asian, but nonetheless, $1 million without blinking an eye. But you got over 21,000 homeless Blacks in LA County alone haven't received one dime.
Donovan, you're gonna piss me off again. Sister Cynthia, thank you so much. Says FBAs, this is our time. We cannot let the Democrats get back in office in 2028. We can change the effects of the election results. I totally agree. We're not counted out yet, but we keep voting for them. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Easy says an Indian talking about trauma for immigrants. That's insane. Yeah, you came over here. That's like me sticking my fork in the electric socket and talking about, ouch, now I need some reparations because I stuck my fork in the electric socket and I electrocuted myself. So somebody needs to pay me for that. You traumatized yourself. You came over here knowing what was going to happen. The man told you the first term and the second term, and even when he ran, the second time and the third time, he told you, just getting on out of here, okay? And even with that, why didn't he ask for reparations for immigrants when Obama was getting them up out of here? He, to this day, is still the deporter in chief. He has still deported more illegal immigrants than any president. So were they talking about reparations for them then? Right? It's just, and I want to know what Obama says about this. Where's Michelle Michelle? And she got something to say, because they come out and peep out and say something every once in a while. I want to see what they got to say about homegirl talking about illegal immigrants need reparations for trauma. But they sat on their hands when it came to Black Americans and our reparation.
See, now, here's my rebuttal to this. I want you guys to think about this. Remember when you were growing up, and if you've traveled places, and I would go to all these different countries and they'd say, oh, you're an American. Wow, it means something. When you were, it meant something to be American. If you just let the floodgates open and everybody could come here, what is the value of being an American? What's the value? If anybody could just come here and, use the resource and do it, what's the value of being an American? This place, sooner or later, is going to turn into a third world country where most of these people have come from, because they come, and I'm not trying to stereotype, but the fact of the matter is, it's just like the Somalis. When you come from an environment where every day you got to go get it, any way you can get it, and you bring that mentality over here, What do you think is going on? What is going to be so special about America if our borders are just wide open? There's nothing special about being American. I was at the hardware store the other day and I ran into an African young man who was in the Air Force from Nigeria. And I said, well, how long have you been here? Oh, I've been here 6 years. Oh, I love it being here because this is that, and great. Welcome. You came here the right way. Welcome. Do what you got to do. But he didn't realize coming to California, all the homelessness and stuff, because he was basically saying, man, I never seen this on TV. I thought California was 90210. You see what I'm saying? What's going to make us special? And here's the funny thing. Have you guys noticed this? Most of the homeless, at least here in California, I can only speak for California, I have rarely to encounter an illegal person that is homeless. It's mostly either an American veteran or an American citizen. Think about that.
I am going to bust a blood vessel something. He says, I get you. It's the same trying to make family and friends understand. Yeah, and it's like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Like, for me, I think when I explain stuff, I think it's pretty lame. And I don't use a lot of big words and things like that. I think it's pretty easy. And I don't know. I don't understand why people don't get it. Oh, you just, they call you, coons and all kind of stuff. Like, you just, who says I need to keep voting for nothing? Why do I got to keep doing that? Well, because the Republicans don't like us either. That's a given. We've all agreed to that. We do not vote for the Republicans like we vote for the Democrats. If we could just agree on that, let's put that over here. And now we don't have to keep bringing that up because we've agreed. Now we need to have the conversation. Why do we keep voting for a party that does absolutely nothing for us? Why do we do that? Well, because of Trump. Ash, how you doing? Says Trump does know what FBA means. Oh, he knows. They know. Lala, how you doing? Says as long as ICE at the polls, they gonna lose. I don't even know why ICE would be at the polls. I mean, I know why Trump and them, but there shouldn't be no illegal immigrants voting, right? I would imagine that. Why would you be there? Stacey says she must not be Black American. No, I'm gonna show it to y'all in just a second because I know a lot of y'all didn't see it. African.
Yeah, no, she's Indian. She gets a lot of her support from Black voters because she's a Democrat.
Yeah. Hey, child of God says, yeah, everyone needs to know this. Yeah, I'm gonna show it to y'all in just a second. Let me just get.
Yeah, and by the way, for those of you guys don't recognize her, she's part of the squad. Her, Ilan Omar. Isn't it funny how all these immigrants gather together and they work together? I'm actually jealous of that. Why don't our politicians do exactly that? That is what we send them there to do our business. But what they do is they do their business. They enrich their families and all this other stuff. And real quick, Maxine Waters turns 88 years old next month. Maxine Waters is probably the oldest. I think she is the oldest congressperson in the House right now. She is, if the Democrats take the House, she is poised to be the chairman of one of the most powerful committees, the Finance Committee, on the House. I want you guys to think about that. An 88-year-old woman, by the time she leaves this term, she will be 90. She is going to be in charge of the Finance Committee, which is one of the most powerful committees. And you know what Aunt Maxine said when they asked her, do you think you're too old, whatever? I'm the one that coined reclaiming my time. Everything in the interview that I saw, she was worried about what she was doing. She didn't say anything about her constituents. 70%. Wait, I think there's in the Democratic Party, there's over 100 congressional members that are 70 years old or older. Think about that.
Yeah. Hey, Brother Arson, I'm going to show y'all again. For those of y'all who came on, it's not that long of a clip because I know a lot of people like, you got to be joking me.
Jayapal lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability, because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us, and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created, and we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
And just think about it. You just got yourself over here 26 years ago, okay? You came over 26 years ago, and now you trying to rewrite the fabric or what happened. You weren't even here. Your people weren't even here when our people was on those plantations, and here you come talking about what somebody else need to get. See, that's our fault again, because we vote for people like her strictly because she's a Democrat, even though she is not for Black people at all. Okay, at all. Now, illegal immigrants can be anybody from a Latino and Asian, people from the continent, the Caribbean, South America, hell, Mars at this point. Anybody but Black Americans, because we are American, right? We're not immigrants, even though some fools talking about we're not immigrants, okay? So that could be anybody. She's advocating for reparations due to trauma. And she just got here 26 years ago talking about what somebody need to get. Ain't said a damn thing about Black Americans and their America's original sin. But she gonna speak up for some people that brought themselves over here willingly. I tell you. Whew. Let's see. Easy says them Bernsteins were complicit in stupid. Were complicit in the slave trade. Them voting against reparations was not a shock to me. No, I wasn't shocked about that. America, I was shocked that it was only 3, although a lot more of them abstained, right? It might as well have said no, but I wasn't shocked. I don't understand why people were shocked. Beat Active, what's going on? It says FBAs are the Mino African descent. It means FBA can't talk or claim African American civil rights movement and African American reparation because FBA claim to be the me indigenous Americans. I kind of get where you're going with that. But then at the same time, FBA, Black Americans, that means that we have ties to the plantation. That's what that means. So I don't have a dog in the fight about people who say they're not African, or I don't get into that type of conversation. But at the end of the day, it's basically lineage to the plantation. And we want our money. That's what that means in a nutshell, right? So, yeah. And Nirvana says, why am I close to taking a flight? Specifically, what information did I? So you talking about? They talking about the flight, the block flight. I'm not even reading your comments. I'll let you and Donovan do all of that. Ursa says, we can't get our country together, so we have to flee and still begging for more. Yeah, and Brother Don, they got the cages from Obama. That is 100% true. Okay, let me skip down just a tiny bit. I didn't realize I'm so behind. Arthur, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says already a third world. You talking about America? Mr. B1, how you doing? Says reparations for the descendant of chattel slavery in America. You get it. Democrats and Republicans. Okay. Larry says facts, brother, facts. Let's see who else is up in here. Lady Diana, how are you doing? I still have to get your books. I ain't forgot. Let's see. Rohan, what's going on? Says America border has always been open because most every group of people are from somewhere else. Irish, Jewish, Polish, Russian, usually Blacks and immigrants built this country. Got it. MC Fact, how you doing? Says these immigrants better not get reparations. Like she said, if they get back in office, shoot, they fighting for that. It's on the table, boo. They putting it on the table. And them ICE agents got to come and they got to answer some questions. Because she said they holding them accountable.
And here's the thing, and we've been saying this for a long time. Who's going to stop them, boo? Who's going to check them? We do not have enough Black voters to make a difference in our local elections and all these other things. Now, because we're indoctrinated to be Democrats and we give all our votes to them, that's what I'm saying. And a lot of you guys have been saying that. We've got to peel away from just throwing our vote away. But the fact of the matter is, they can't win anything without the Black vote. But once they get in there, how you going to check them? You got a president that was impeached twice, and and still remain president, and then came back 4 years later to become president again. They use the laws to shield themselves. I mean, this is how it is. Citizens United, money in politics is a big problem. Both parties, nobody's repealing it, nobody's talking about it, but here we are. But who's going to check them? Who's going to check them? Because guess what? Once they get there, ooh, my party's in power, ski-wee. And then you're over here fighting a war over here. Ukraine needs this. Oh, we got to help the migrants over here. We got to do this. Who's going to check them?
Yeah. Hey, Scoop says no one's going, and thank you so much for that. It says no one's going to care about us. It's up to us to care about us. We as a people, we tend to wait until it's too late. We don't believe fat meat is greasy. Yeah, and I think even in 2026, we still ain't going to believe fat meat is greasy. But you're right. We got to care about us. We have to do for self. Brooklyn Lady, what's going on with you? He says Maxine should have been out of there 30 years ago. Damn. Carmen says, why is Maxine Waters still in Congress? Because people keep voting her in or they don't go vote her out. Like Donovan says, she gonna be 90 by the time she leave up out of here if she don't ultimately leave up out of here, right? But even her, she talking about, I'm following behind ICE. I'm in the back alleys chasing. Look, I'm gonna find it for you. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Cause see,
and the funny thing is, in her district, it's been gentrified. There ain't no black support Maxine Waters in the South Central area where she represents. That's all Hispanic votes. And as long as she is going to represent Hispanic or immigrant interests, they're going to keep her there. As long as she's doing what they tell her to do. And guess what? Maxine don't mind, like Demetra said. She down there with ICE. What's your name? Who are you? I come to see the thing. I want to do the audacity of what? It's lunacy.
I got you.
To let you know what we're all doing, resisting this low down, dirty, no good, filthy president of the United States of America. Let me just say this. They are targeting our leadership, both in the Latino community and in the black community. And while they're targeting them and following them, I'm on the street and I'm following ICE and I'm targeting ICE. And I went to the deportation center. If David Werta is here, I came to see about you, David. I came to see about you. I came to see about you because we've got to let them know that they're not going to get away with this. We're documenting everything. We're resisting. And I want to tell you, you are seeing the biggest coming together of the black and brown community that we've seen in this city ever. We are organized. We are coalescing with each other, and we're going to fight together. And the question that you're asking, the protest must continue. You must not stop. I'm protesting. I've been to 11 of them. I stay on the street, in the alleys, wherever I need to be.
Go ahead, Maxine. Go ahead, girl. Yeah. Yes. Y'all love that. Y'all love to be entertained.
I mean, I just got to keep those videos on deck because I know people going, think we exaggerating. That's Maxine. She'll be 90, right? She's following behind. I'm chasing ICE. I'm following behind ICE. It's like, hey, leader, how you doing? Says, I believe in cussing out. You crazy. Don't cuss out no elders. Don't do that. Thank you, Mike, for reminding people there's a ways to help the channel. Love and appreciate you for that. Gloria says, I vote local. I do too. I vote local. Nikki, how you doing? Says, can't make this ish up. I'm trying to tell you. No reparation, no vote. Says they can't represent us. Well, when we vote for them or don't vote at all, they do. Especially on state and local level, we should vote for something. Okay. Hey, brother Jonelle, how you doing? I hope that you're doing well today. Let's see. Nirvana says, how did y'all vote her out as your votes don't have any significance in presidential elections? I don't even know what you're talking about. I think you just typing. You must be bored. Donisha, how you doing? Says, no, some of these immigrants were handpicked. Oh, yeah, most definitely, right? Brother Don says, anyone with the Yahudim can get reparations. They knew collectively who we were when they stole us. Come on now. They didn't just go get anybody out of no damn bushes, right? Beverly, thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you. I'm just saying, they know who they came and got. Sister Shirley says we definitely need to push this message to every Black podcast. Yeah, everybody, we should just talk about this for a week at least. Okay, we find different angles to talk about this so that we can keep this message before Black folks, especially descendants of slavery, that this woman wants to put reparations for illegal immigrants on the table when Democrats get back into power. I'm speechless.
Hey, just real quick. Hey, Nirvana Tyler, Texas. Hey, I'm not trying to down your hustle, but obviously you're being paid by Democratic operatives to come and troll on a page and stuff. I just went to your YouTube channel. You ain't got nothing on there, so that's pretty much says that you know, get your money, sis. Get your money, but don't be mad at the politicians that are doing the same thing that you are. They rather get the money and worry about themselves with the weave and all that other stuff, the wig you got on and all that other stuff to make yourself look good while you do the bidding of the master. So,
yeah, like I said, I ain't even. Hey, James, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Magneta should be 90. Maxine will be 90 years old, close to it, right? Yeah, she's having a lot of conversations.
She will be 88 next month. So if she wins the term this year, by the time she leaves Congress after the term is over, she'll be 90.
Yeah, she having more conversations with the Grim Reaper than not at this point, you know. Yeah, Sister Shirley, she like a great grandma at this point. I'd imagine. I'm mad at
you mean the Crypt Keeper. Stop, the Crypt Keeper.
You don't do Auntie Maxine like that. Don't do it. Aaron says America is suffering its karma overrun with immigrants who were put here to suppress FBA. Now these same people dictating policy. Shaking my head. That's what I'm saying. She's been here 26 years, Miss Jayapal, and she's sitting up here talking about she want to make sure that immigrants get reparations. Damn Black folks, right? The ones that built this country for free, had everything stolen from our people, and even to this day, the stuff that you want to talk about crack. You know what kind of trauma crack exacted upon the Black community, and it's still exacting. There's still fallout. There's generations of Black Americans that have been forever ruined by crack. That was done by the United States government of America, COINTELPRO, and all the stuff that they've done to our organizations that were just trying to up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will, do for self, and a whole host of other things, right? We could be here forever. All the experiments, the dilapidations of all of our Black towns, the incarceration of our people, the police brutality, never mind the KKK, Jim Crow, and all of that. And this woman talk about immigrants getting reparations. What is she smoking? I got to know. And like, what is it? Because I almost want to say it's unbelievable. Like, I know they probably think these things, but to get up in front of cameras and a microphone and speak that, like, watch, I'm going to show it again. She didn't stutter at all. She probably did in her mind, but she really didn't stutter.
Jayapal lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability, because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us, and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created. And we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
Now watch this lady here, that lady in the pink or the red jacket. Look, she's sitting next to her. Watch when she watch. Oops.
For the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
She's shaking her head like she agreed with it, right? So, Slaptrap, how you doing? Says, where's Jasmine? How will she get back on code? Well, she getting out of office at the next year because she did not win her primary bid to be a senator of Texas, and she got to go. So I don't know what Jasmine gonna be doing. Jeffrey, how you doing? Says Maxine Waters is that old 88, and you don't see or feel any spirit at all in her. If she had a soul, we would feel the connection. I just think, Maxine Waters is just doing something at this point. Like, what are you really doing? Rhonda, how you doing? Says she lost her mind. You better tell them. Primo, what's going on with you? Angela, how you doing? Says, I heard Phil say they don't want to give us reparations because it wasn't against the law when slavery existed. That's the justification. Yes, that slavery was legal when it was going on. And so the United States, Israel, and Argentina said, well, we don't want to make a hierarchy of when it comes to crimes against humanity, because how do we say, but it's like you made one when it came to giving reparations to the Jews, the Japanese, and everybody else.
I was just going to bring that up. It was a law to discriminate against the Jews in Germany, and yet America had nothing to do with the Holocaust, but yet we're paying Jews from the Holocaust reparations. So the precedent's been set. But this is the BS that they feed Black people, and I'm going to tell you guys this. We are the least likely to use our benefits when the government, and Dimitri, you say it all the time, the appeal to authority. When the government says, get out of here, Negro, don't come back. Yes, sir, I'm going to go. I hear so many veterans, so many military veterans, especially the Vietnam era veterans, talk about, oh, the white man this, the white man that, whatever deal is, right? Okay, I get all that. We understand all that, but these are your benefits. You got to fight for your benefits, but the appeal to authority makes us go away. So I always explain when I'm helping fellow veterans get their benefits, the system's designed to say no. Negro, you don't take no as an answer. You go and get your benefits, because you got to think about it. If I could give you 10% just to give you for your ears for the rest of your life, because most vets get 10% for hearing loss for the rest of your life, who wins? Who wins in a transaction like that? The government wins, because I'd rather give you 10 than give you 100 or give you 90, the rest of the 90. And you guys will find out. Go ask your Uncle Rufus and all those guys that were in the Army in Vietnam and all them places like that. I ain't going, they ain't giving me nothing. I'm done with them. Okay, that's fine. You could be done with them. But guess who won in that transaction? The government.
Right. Brother Johnny, I tried to put your comment up, but it covered our faces. You say, this nation and its insecurities cannot afford any true form of Black economic empowerment that ignites Black economic independence. They're only going to serve as minimum allowances that within their regulations. So as example, the NBA, NFL, politics, etc. Definitely not reparations. That's an independent theme. Black economic unity changes on all on so many levels. Yep, which is why we have to do it ourselves, because there is a lot of money that we do give away, right? 97% of everything that we have, we give it to everybody else. So a lot of that is within our control. We start keeping our money, start building our communities. Then those people, they'll start to take it seriously. But I'm sorry, I personally couldn't show up to vote for her or anybody who thinks like her. I just won't do it. Well,
I want to say this because, we were talking about the immigrants and how they come into our country. Whenever you guys run across a person that is pro illegal immigrant, I'm for immigration, legal immigration. There's a difference. I'm against illegal immigration, which is logical. What I always tell people is this. I'm 90 miles from Mexico, the border of Mexico. I tell people, I want you, the people that are pro illegal immigration, go down to Mexico without going through the border station and go into Mexico and see what happens to you. Matter of fact, pick any country in the world and go there illegally and see how welcoming they are to you and see what's going to happen. But see, everybody fundamentally knows illegal immigration is wrong no matter where you go, but they just don't want to admit that.
Yeah, and they want, us to be all right with that. The illegal immigration costs a lot of money, And as taxpayers, we are paying for illegal immigration, and she's sitting up there talking about getting them some reparations. Boy, I tell you what. Arson, thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you. You said, okay, thanks for the clip. I get it now. Lots could be said, but in short, this pales out to the trillions that they owe you. She must be some plant. Trust me, immigrants don't ask for all that. Ignore it. They might not, right? And wasn't somebody asking for reparations for Somalis as well not too long ago?
Yes, the Somalis want money because of the money that's been cut off by the Trump administration to their illegal ventures, and the way that ICE is treating them, and the retraction of their TPS status.
Crazy. Goody says Maxine Waters is trying to organize confusion because of her disdain for President Trump. Yeah, she hate him. Margaret, how you doing? Says Omar and that woman are supposed to be for all people in their district, not just people of their race. I hope America will stop letting immigrants work in our government. Yeah, and that's another conversation that's being had. Like, man, they get up in there and and just flip it all upside down. But see, the other problem too is we don't vote for people that are like-minded and think the way we think. It's just a fact. Black voters vote for the Democrats no matter what it is. If it's a D in front of their name or behind their name, I'm going to vote for the Democrat. And then you sit up there and watch this lady do something like that. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but you also got to remember it's human nature. White people vote for white people. Asians vote for Asians. Hispanics vote for Hispanics. Latinos vote for Latinos. Blacks vote for blacks. And we think because that person has a similarity to our experience, that person's going to do right by us. And that's not the case. As we see in the African diaspora, we are totally different. We are no different than they do on the continent of Africa. It doesn't matter if I'm a white man, an Asian man, or a Black American. If I'm not from that tribe, I'm not of that tribe. I'm a foreigner as far as they're concerned. And this is why they can't get along. And it's just only human nature that we do that. And it's our ignorance. Again, I challenge any of you guys. And let's be honest, how many of you guys go to your city council meetings? You don't even have to go physically. How many of you guys get on YouTube and follow what is going on in your very city? No, you don't, because you've been working 2 jobs. You got to take the kids or help your grandkids. You're tired. You got to go eat. You are so exhausted. They have made a system to where you are so exhausted you don't even have time to pay attention to what they are doing in your name. And by the time you figure it out, Demetria, you remember Miss Jackson?
Miss Jackson was hopping mad, okay? I was like, I think you showed up a little too late, Miss Jackson. She was hollering and like, woo, they could have used that before they made the decision they made, right? Cheryl, how you doing? Says illegal immigration is against the law. Trump is good for the Democrat Party. I don't know how good he is. I just know that the Democrat Party is not good for us, right? They're just not, and they don't care that we know it. I don't know, like, what is anybody who right at this moment that supports the Democrat Party? What do you have to say about that? How do you defend that? Like, I really would love to see Roland's take on this, Joy, and all the other people. I'd really love to hear their spin on this. Do you agree with this? The Native Land podcast, Angela Rye, and all. What is your take on this woman saying that illegal immigrants should get reparations while continuously telling Black Americans no? Ricky Smiley, your homies, y'all sit up on your radio station all the time talking about they want reparations. What do y'all have to say about that? I'm curious. Al Sharpton, you have any opinions at all?
Well, Jamal Bryant will say the immigrant, according to the Bible, the immigrant, the foreigner is supposed to be welcomed and God wouldn't let it. But see, he takes it out of context. The Bible also says, give Caesar and obey Caesar's law, give Caesar his tribute, something, whatever. I'm not a Bible scholar. But if you break Caesar's law, you're also breaking God's law. But see, they don't tell you that. They only take you that little small part and welcome the immigrant. It didn't say anything about the illegal immigrant. It said, welcome the immigrant. But anyway.
Yeah. But the journal says no colonizing nation that's built on your free economics have any desire to free via reparations that will lead to your independence. It says have much do our unified trillion empowerment others. So it's saying our money's empowered others. Look how the Nation of Islam empowers others from the Black economics it receives mainly. Black economics beyond their regulation is the fear, especially in this modern Titanic called America, right? So with that, we have to do for self, that we can do it. I'm not saying they don't owe us. It's not if, it's when. We're going to get it. But there are things that we need to do. We have to be saving ourselves. But as I said, definitely stop voting for more of nothing. Yeah, because at this point, now you're just voting for a slap in the face on both sides.
Right. I want to read this one from Don, our good buddy Don. How do you say his last name? Udai. Yeah. You shouldn't pay personal income taxes. There is nothing in the IRS code that requires you to file. When you file that 1040 you've just created a debt with the federal government. Read the form. Yes, that is correct. But I don't want to do a Wesley Snipes situation. So just do what you got to do. You got to file. You got to file. There's nothing in the Constitution, but you're right. There's nothing in the Constitution that gives the federal government the right to tax you. But the states can do it. That's specific in the Constitution.
Hey, Quan, how you doing? Well, I love you too. Thank you so much. That reminds me of when you see people say, I'm a sovereign citizen, and they be up at court talking about, you can't, I'm not beholden to this law of the land because I'm a sovereign citizen. They be like, lock their ass up, please. You broke the law.
Yeah, I have this question. Maybe our co-host could answer this for me. And I'm serious about this, you guys. You've got hardcore, how do you say it? Traditional Muslims that come from these extreme parts of the world. Why would they come to the United States? And you want Sharia law in the United States, but yet you were in a country that was practicing Sharia law. Now you want to come to the United States and put Sharia law here in a basically Christian country, what we call Christian country. I will never understand that.
Yeah, Albert, we should. Says we should. I keep talking about this and push this conversation into the lexicon to force them to talk about it. We should. This needs to be a conversation that's ongoing until we understand this is the foolishness that we vote for. Again, I'm not necessarily mad at her. She's an immigrant. She's gonna, she had an organization that fought for illegal immigrants. It was a civil rights organization, which to me is like, how, but that's what she did. And so now she's got herself there in Congress, and she's going to fight to get them something that don't belong to them. You broke the law and you're going to get compensated to break the law? That's the Democratic Party. Now, I know the Republicans, they own a lot of foolishness. They got a lot of wars and stuff going on and all of that. They ain't much better. But I'm just saying, in regards to us, right? She want to get reparations for illegal immigrants. They ain't broke the damn law. And gloss all over Black Americans who didn't break no law on those damn plantations. And even after that, it's crazy. But we should continue to talk about it. Everything belongs to God. Says, and what are your ancestors doing for you now? My ancestors are from this American soil. Once again, hence FBA, which our ancestors built the wealth of this nation. Now it's our fight. Absolutely. And King Shaw says Jamal Bryant ain't nothing but a shield. Yeah, I think they mad at him now anyway because he done hijacked the whole Target boycott. Talking about he did a Jay-Z. We're past kneeling. The Target boycott is over. Them Black women like to toe him a whole new one.
Yeah, King Shaw 1079 says FBAs didn't show up to the King's protest, and I was looking at the videos of the King. You didn't see any Black folks really out there. Yeah, I didn't see it in the videos that I showed. So all I saw was old liberal white folks. What's your take on that, Dimitri?
Yeah, and I saw the NAACP, talking about it all day yesterday, and it's like I saw a lot of people in the comment section say, "Yeah, we wasn't out there." Just saying we were at home, right? This ain't got. Why are y'all talking about this? You know what I mean? So yeah, Nirvana says boycott them. Our record-breaking protests are further evidence we're still winning as we have been since Trump took office. What are you winning? What are you protesting and winning? Trump gonna leave office any damn way because he can't run another term. But what are you winning? You're winning. I told you I was at the airport the other day. Taking my niece and nephew, because they can go on their way home. And I saw ICE agents there. I didn't see not one adverse action from them at all. They were very cordial. I spoke to a few of them, asked them, "Hey, is this the end of the line?" They was like, "No, it's actually way down." They were just there manning the TSA. But so when I saw that, I'm like, wow, this narrative is going out like they out there just doing some rock'em sock'em stuff. From my vantage point, I didn't see them do that. But I'm like, wow, people just come and see for themselves. But then I think about the propaganda. Oh, the ICE agents are at the, and then they talk about the one illegal immigrant in San Francisco that got gaffled up. But it's like they leaving off the fact that she was illegal. She wasn't just trying to catch a plane nowhere. She was within her rights. She was illegal. So then she tried to run.
Yeah. But you bring up a good point. Notice you're in a red state. Florida, red state. Have you noticed there is no issues with ICE in the red states because they go to the jails They get the illegals that are violent or whatever they're doing, but you don't see any incidents in the red state. It's only in the blue states or the sanctuary states or the sanctuary cities where you're seeing these incidences. And I'm not saying they're staged. I really do think a lot of it is antagonized, but only in the blue states do you see this going because they're trying to fit a narrative. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, and like I said, I was there myself. I saw it again. I wasn't at every airport, so I don't know, but I didn't see them acting adversely at all. Donovan, can you put your Cash App in the chat for those who want to donate to you? Beverly is asking for a way to donate. So
Oh yeah. I already answered that. But you guys, all you guys got to do is send a note to Brother Phil. We're in hostile negotiations for Demetrius' contract. Hey, I need top dollar. I mean, he got a top performer here, so I'm trying to squeeze him a little bit.
Let me know how that works out for you. So MC Fact says, Dimitri, can you share the link for that video clip of the woman asking for reparations? It's not really a link. It's you could probably go on like YouTube or TikTok and find it. Just put Representative what is her name? What the hell is this lady's name? Jayapal. So put in Jayapal reparation or something and it'll come up. Or do you want me to show it again? Is that what you're saying? One who cares, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. King Shaw said Jamal Bryant is still shopping at racist Gucci. You know what I'm saying? And he's telling people, they have people. I wasn't boycotting Target, first of all, okay? But then he admitted, I was going to talk about it. I was like, no, I ain't going to talk about it because they stupid. He admitted that the boycott hurt Black, vendors in Target. He admitted that. So you knew you were hurting Black-owned businesses, but you didn't care because it was all about you being seen. You want to be the new, and improve Martin Luther King Jr. walking around like you really doing something, but you harm Black businesses. It just gives the bus boycott all over again, where Dr. Claude Anderson said that when Negroes were able to ride with the white bus company, it put the Black bus companies out of business. And it's the same. Like, so when are we going to learn?
And think about this. I keep talking about gentrification out of our neighborhoods. We keep talking about gentrification in politics, and we have no voice in politics. As they slowly chip away at Black businesses that now don't exist, like what Jamal Bryant did with the Target thing like that. 2008, a third of all Black wealth was taken during the housing crisis, and no legislation has been written to right that wrong of predatory lending by the banks and Wall Street. Do you guys realize Black wealth in today's terms from the Civil War, Black people have basically the same wealth as they did at the end of the Civil War. So basically the slaves that were freed with almost nothing. That is the wealth equivalent that we have to this right now, is what they're saying. They are slowly chipping away, taking away our businesses, taking away our... There's nothing that we could say because we don't have enough representation in Congress that will right the wrong. The only thing that's going to get us out of this is that we band together like we did back in slavery days after the Civil War, and like our great-great-grandparents did and created these Wall Street things, or we get the reparations situation. We have been gentrified in so many ways and people aren't seeing it.
Yeah, Angela says the ICE agents were cordial because they had their mask off. That might have been true. I think that's kind of the first time I've ever seen or even spoken to an ICE agent, to be honest with you. And I didn't see anything adverse. Like, they literally were just kind of standing there, maybe kind of not knowing what to do. Yeah, I didn't see anybody with mask on, but they were handing out water bottles and, telling people where to go and, stuff like that. So I personally didn't see I didn't see any negative things going on at all. So maybe that's just my experience, but I just thought, wow, it just is a lot different than the narrative. And then the other thing too is, like, I keep asking people, and maybe Nirvana can answer this question: what happened to all these ICE raids? Did they just disappear? Like, what happened? We couldn't escape them. And so the Democrats, again, they want to defund ICE, reform ICE, or whatever it is. But Tom Homan, the border czar, he went and had conversations, and to me, it seems like ICE has calmed down. You don't hear about these, austere interactions anymore. So, in a sense, could we agree that ICE has been reformed, or do the Democrats not want ICE to do their job at all? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, what I think is going on is this. When I talk to Democrats and liberals, it seems the strategy is let chaos reign because we're not Trump. They have no policy in place. So if ICE calms down, they have nothing to run on. Oh, look at this. Oh, they're just brutalizing people and Americans and whatever. That's the plan. When I ask a liberal, okay, what are the Democrats going to do different than what they did under the Biden administration, other than giving Ukrainians billions of dollars? And what are they going to do for the American people? These people have no plan for the American people. And stick to that talking point, because they're going to try to, like Nirvana, they're going to try to go here, they're going to try to go there, they're going to try to go there. Just ask them, what is the plan to make the American life better? Forget the black person for right now, because they always do, but to make the American better. There is no plan. They just want the power. They don't care. They just want the power.
And you're 100% right. What will they campaign on if, ICE calms down?
Right. We're not Trump. We're not Trump.
Yeah. And I think even a lot of Democratic strategists have said, Democrats, this is getting old. Like, you keep saying Trump, 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 but you're not saying what you're going to do for the American people. Again, that pendulum action happened because when Biden and Kamala were there, they swung those border doors wide open. Everybody could get everything they could get. And then a lot of people was like, yo, we don't want that, right? We don't want to talk about men and women's restrooms and all this other stuff y'all got going on. And so the pendulum went all the way to the right, which is how you got Trump. And even to this day, you got Democrats, Trump, ICE. And like I said, in the last month, I haven't heard about nobody, being roughed up too bad like they were before. I don't agree with how they were doing it, but you ain't heard nothing like that. When Tom Homan went in there, said, Greg, okay, you need to go back to where you came from. I got it from here. It calmed down. So what are they really asking for? Like I said, do you just not want them to touch people who are here illegally at all? Because if that's the case, you say that, but Donovan, you're right. They have no talking points if they cannot hang their hat on ICE and Trump. Is Trump a douche? Yeah, he's a douchebag, okay? But what are you going to do to make the lives of Americans better? Now, when Biden was in office, it was bad. Trump got in, it was worse. And guess who it's bad and worse for? The American people, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on. That's the conversation. Not talking about and fighting over people who are here illegally. I know that sounds kind of mean, but it's true. There's a legal pathway to citizenship here. But you come over here and, skip the line or whatever it is, and then you got the Democratic Party crashing out for you. It's just insane. Brother Jonell, you say Black economics have taken care of and empowered every foreigner. We must make like Hagar and stop looking for the Hills government and drop the bucket at our feet. We are a wealthy Black nation. Collectively shop Black first, support yours. Let's put Black Wall Street to practice. Target spending Black owned. Yes, it's just that simple, right? But just to the point of Jamal Bryant, it's just like, y'all mad that this fool co-opted and hijacked y'all movement. Y'all let him. Y'all was cool with it when he's when he was in the pulpit doing all that. Y'all was jumping on chandeliers right with him. And then when he says we're past kneeling, how dare you bald head sucker? And when his wife wore that funky see-through dress, leave him alone. Y'all just jealous. But then he says we're past kneeling. Oh, how dare you? Nah, sis. You allowed him to hijack the movement that was a fraud and throw Tamika Mowry in there as well. And Nina Turner, they was both complicit in the hijacking. They had on the ski mask too, hijacking the Target movement. And then they tried to pretend, well, we don't know what he talking about. And as I forget the sister's name, she said that was our movement. They came and took it over. And we ain't done. We're not done with Target. It's like, listen, sister, people done boycotting Target, okay? Y'all can boycott Target, but it was, I don't know. So, yeah. Has anybody seen Jamal lately? He's kind of disappeared.
Is that R. Kelly's little brother or something? Are they related?
I don't know.
I mean, they look, they have some features together. I'm from, somewhere down the line or something. I don't know.
You know, for her good, how you doing? Such blessings, Demetri K. and Donovan. People need to wake up. Thanks for trying to wake people up. Says I'm heated. I'm trying.
Hey guys, we're getting close to the hour, but do us a favor, hit that like button. It helps keep the algorithm going, and we can continue to have these great conversations. It's absolutely free. Hit the like button. Please like, share on your platforms.
Yeah, Brother Don. No, I haven't seen any black ICE agents doing the most. I haven't. The videos and things that I've seen, they're cordial, answering questions and all of that, which is where you probably should be, dealing with people or whatever. But no, I haven't seen them do it, and I feel actually, in a sense, I feel sorry for some of the ICE agents, not the ones that was doing the most, but some of them, especially at the airport, because like they're following orders, They probably don't want to be there, but I'm here, which also makes me wonder, well, if you got time to put ICE agents in airports, may they not have anything else to do in their regular capacity? I don't know. That would be concerning for me if I was an ICE agent. Like, damn, is this the end of the road for me? Once TSA gets back up and running, I don't know. Yeah, Brother Joe, now the ice has melted. Like I said, where are all these ice raids and stuff that was happening? And this is the lady's name. Forget who. MC Fact. I think you were asking Jayapal. That's her last name. You're welcome. Everything belongs to God. Slim Sammy say, good cop, bad cop. Carmen says, Dems have no plans. They don't. Chomp, bad, chomp, chomp. Ice, chomp, chomp, chomp. All right, well, what are you going to do for the American people? I don't know, but it's Trump's fault. Whatever it is.
And the funny thing is, this partial government shutdown is due to what party? You would rather hold people's paycheck hostage, people that probably vote for you, and mess with their money, which messes with their credit, which messes with their mortgage, so on, so forth, to play games, and then talk about, Trump bad.
Yeah. Albert Chill says, I asked, where is the Democrats Project 2025? And they all look dumbfounded, just like Nirvana does. Damn. When she has to figure out how to brush her teeth in the morning, you know what? Y'all better leave that lady alone.
Let her make her coin. Like I said, she has to clock in so many hours to get her check. So, like I said, she's helping us with that algorithm. So.
Yeah. Bruce Tracker, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So this is better than Biden, in my opinion. I mean, it's like for Black Americans, what we're supposed to do, continue to be harmed. Illegal immigration harms us. It just does. And I know people don't want us to believe that, but it does.
Yeah. If Nirvana says, I'm just going to entertain her real quick. She says, Trump says himself he's the most sued person in the world. Yeah, but let's talk about Fonnie Willis. Let's talk about Nathan Wade. Now, regardless if you like a person or not, to go into cahoots with the federal government to frame a man and not give him a fair trial, and I don't even like Trump, that's not right. That's not right. I'm not a super religious person, but I know right from wrong. Everybody deserves a fair trial. And for them to collude and do what they did to this man, if they could do it to the president of the United States, we ain't got a chance, y'all.
Brother Jonell says all wars are bankers' wars. That's right. It says the civilians are the fuel. History shows who profits from all wars. Veterans struggling show how much profit of little to nothing they receive for fighting the wars. If you don't want to catch a cold, stay out of the draft. It says majority dying for rich colonizers' goals and gains. Yeah. And Trump sent a whole bunch of troops over there, sending some more. I'll talk about a ground game. And the Iranians is like, if you do it, it'll be the last thing they do. It's like they're like, please don't send them over here to die. We ain't playing, and Trump, he's between a rock and a hard place, right? And they also illustrated that they have the ability to be hacking into people's emails. You see, they hacked into Kash Patel's emails, his personal emails, and, showing some pictures and videos of him. That's got to be very frustrating for the FBI director. But yeah, they're going to send people. And you're starting to hear a lot of people speak out and say, yeah, we don't want to send American soldiers to die for something that will not benefit them or even this country. This is not a war for America. This is a war for Israel, But the Iranians is like, don't do it. They like, we just getting started. And they don't know what to do with the Iranians. The Iranians got them on the run, and now Yemen is in it, right? Lebanon, like they fighting all these fronts, and Iran is like, we ain't even scratched the surface of the stuff we got for y'all.
Exactly. And I want you guys to remember this. What's the old saying, Demetra? Follow the money. If a lot of and this is why Citizens United needs to be repealed, but both parties won't do it. You guys do realize that a lot of these congressional leaders that you see on TV, Democrat or Republican, they get their money from AIPAC. Chuck Schumer, the Timu Obama, what's his name? All of them. So there's a saying, if you control both sides of an argument, where's the argument?
Right. Magnetic says Trump was not fair to federal workers. No, Trump was not fair to nobody. And that's why I said about his administration, everybody could get it. They're trying to find some money so they could keep it. That's what they, and then they ended up having to call a lot of y'all back, because it was like, oops, they let Elon get up in there and tear stuff up. And it was like, yeah, we need to call some of these people back. But a lot of that was about deregulation. When crooks are doing crooked things, they don't want to be, checks and balances. So that's what that was about.
Right. And then, and Magnetor, I answered his that question as well. People got to understand the Bill Clinton fired more federal workers than any president up until that time. Why is that? Because sometimes, well, not sometimes, over time, the government gets too big and you got to cut the fat. Demetra was there. Matter of fact, her and all her girls were put out of business when the base closures happened here in California. The military got scaled back. A whole bunch of federal workers do that. So my point is what I'm trying to tell you guys, this my team, your team, stop it. We got to get out of that. You call it for what it is. Both of these parties do it. It's about the have and the have-nots. So again, Obama is the deporter in chief, but yet people are complaining about Trump. They both do it. Oh, Kamala is this. Hillary Clinton overtook Libya. They're all war hawks. It is a game. You got to look at what is going on. If you're going to point this person out, I could point a Democrat president that did the exact same thing. Let's forget all that and let's concentrate on our interests. But that's what they want you to concentrate on, the BS. Oh, he fired all these federal workers. Well, where were you guys at in the 90s when Bill Clinton fired all of those federal workers and closed all those bases so Demetra and her girlfriends were out of business?
Right. I want to know. I want answers. Russell, he says, how you doing, by the way? He says, we're fighting this war for America, not Israel. He says, Iran has been killing Americans for 47 years. If you don't knock it off, America's been killing Americans for 250 years. Okay. Why we don't ever want to have that conversation? I just want to know why we don't want to have that conversation about the killing that America do of Americans, or the killing that Americans do of anybody else. Who's America to go tell Iran what to do when they got so much blood on their hands? It doesn't make any sense. But see, again, when we fall for propaganda, we just believe everything we hear. Like that was the question I asked was very standard, basic. Who is America to decide who should be held accountable with all of the debauchery that it has in its file cabinet? If you don't mind me asking. What did Cory Booker do to y'all other than the obvious? Terry, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. TOT, what's going on? It says, prepare to be your own governing body. They are going to remove, going remote with AI. They know you are compliant. He says, with their instructions. Yeah, don't get me started on AI. Lord, don't get me started. Quan, how you doing? It says, not until the liberation of Foundation of Black Negro American Freedmen, there will not be world peace. Reparations for FBA descendants and anti-Black hate crime law. You don't need Phil needs you. So you're saying Donovan doesn't need me? Okay, Phil needs me. Is that what you're saying? Magnetic says, I was a kid in the 90s. I was in my 20s, beginning my 20s in the 90s. So long ago. Nirvana says, which politician says they're for FBAs? None of them. And that's why they should not get Black American votes. None of them are. I don't know if you didn't know that, but they're not. No politician is for Black Americans. but Black Americans give the Democrats the majority of our votes, and we need to stop doing that. So yeah. King Charles said, and Bill Clinton deported more than Obama and Trump. Clinton deported 11 million. Easy says a lot of these illegals hiding out with the advice of their ICE relatives. Yeah, I know a lot of the Nigerians here in Houston is like, we just gonna hide out like we did the first time Trump was in office. And when he leave, we'll be back. Free thinkers never summit. How you doing? It says in the Alpha and Omega we trust. Come on now. Yeah. Let's see. Scoop, thank you once again for that love and appreciation. You said that's why March is an Air Force base, reserve base now. I was there. Me too.
Look at she sad when she said that, y'all. Me too.
I was there too. Sure was in his glory days. Vanessa, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well. Brother Don says, why are you up in Black folks' business now? Nirvana says, Mexicans still grocery shopping. Black people grocery shopping, they ain't special. Everybody grocery shopping. I just took my ass to the store today. So I don't know why that's special. Russell says America is the leader of the free world. Yeah, but look what it's led. Look what it's led to. I mean,
where are we free? Where in the world are we free? Yeah.
Yeah, and what is it? What is it leading people to? Trump has. What did the old people used to say? Trump wrote a check his ass can't cash. Okay, he thought. See, that's the problem with Trump. Trump think he a mafia for real, right? Like, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Kaboom! And everybody's supposed to The Iranians said, "Listen, we believed you a couple months ago when you said we were gonna have a ceasefire agreement and all this other stuff, and then you come with your foolishness, and we told you to stop playing with us." The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told you to stop playing with us. Everybody said, don't play with us. We are not the one to play with. And what did you do? You jumped in the sandbox with us, and you see that we ain't going to play the way you want to play. And so now Trump has got to figure out a way. I think now they said the Pakistanians, that now they're the middleman between trying to get the ceasefire, because the Iranians is like, Trump is lying. We're not talking to him. I know he's telling y'all that we're talking. They're saying we're not talking to him. We don't want to talk to him. Now, don't bring your ass to the Strait of Hormuz, and then the Yemen, the Houthis, right? They're blocking off their portion of the Red Sea. Somebody else is blocking off something else. They're like, we don't know what to tell you, because that's what the Iranians are doing. They're crippling the world, and they're saying, hey, don't be mad at us. Yeah, we're going to, blow some stuff up. Don't take it personally. What you need to be mad at is Trump and Netanyahu, because they started this stuff. They want to take out our leadership and destroy our this, that, and the other. Well, we got something for you, okay? How you like them high gas prices? How you like when you went to the store, groceries are up there, and everything else that you would pay for? They said, even if the war stops today, things will not correct until next year, maybe 2028. And it's not gotten where it's going to get yet as far as being worse. It's still going.
Right. And you guys are aware that Netanyahu is 4 years past the time he should have been out of office. Mm-hmm. And he's staying in there because he's due for corruption. So you got, if you believe Trump's a criminal, you don't like Trump, whatever, and you got to, let's just say it, two criminals doing what they're doing to distract you, and they might even send your kids to go fight.
Yeah, speaking of which, Brother Donell said, did you see the Hispanics hugging their families? I did. In American military on their way to fight. Now they're useful. Blacks going, but can't get reparations is insanity. Not to mention is not real. America voted against us recently regarding the transatlantic slave trade. America was the first to drop 2 nuclear weapons on Japan. Who did Iran use anything nuclear against? No one. Right. That's the lie that the United States keep telling. Oh, well, they was making a new, but you said a couple of months ago that you destabilized their nuclear weapon making abilities. So like, that's what the foreign minister of Iran said. They listen to what your own government is saying. They said that they destroyed our nuclear weapons, but then here they are again, destroying them because Israel thought we was going to strike. So Israel struck. And then here comes Marco Rubio saying, oh, well, we did it because Israel did it. So the foreign minister saying, listen to the nonsense that they're telling. And then they're trying to make you believe that we took out our own little girls with the bomb and said it was ours when it clearly is a bomb of the United States, right? But to your point, Brother Jonell, yeah, those people are going over to fight. This lady here is fighting for reparations for illegal immigrants, and Black Americans gonna go over there and lose their lives and not get nothing to show for it. It is insanity.
Yeah, you guys got to remember, the United States is the biggest arms dealer in the world. We are the biggest arms dealer in the world. Now, here we are, and look at this. We're always going in to countries that don't have nuclear capability. You don't see us messing around with Korea, which is why Korea keeps their nuclear arsenal. If you want to be safe from the United States and the big bullies on the block, you have to arm yourself with these things. And it's just sad that people just, you got to remember, both sides, there's war hawks. How many of you guys remember Darth Cheney? How many of you guys remember Darth Cheney?
Yes.
Halliburton. He was the head of Halliburton. All those guys, oh, we got to get over there and do this and do that and do this. Made all that money, whatever was going on over there. It's the same playbook. And I don't understand why we keep falling for the same playbook. And the only people, and let me tell you, Iran is a mountainous country. They have flatlands and stuff, but it has a lot of mountains. And those people know the terrain better than the American folks do. If we have to put troops on the ground, the trillions and trillions of dollars that we've spent in VA costs to these young troops that fought in the Iraq-Afghanistan war, that's going to be nothing to what we're going to have to pay if we have to do ground troops over there. Trillions of dollars. And this is why they never have any money for Black folks. Well, Black folks, we got to fight this war over here, so can you guys wait just a little bit longer? Hell, we've been waiting for 6 years. No, the note is due now.
Russell, he says Iran wants all Americans dead. So why are you defending Iran? That's not what they said. In fact, they're saying they don't want that. They're actually saying Trump is going to send American troops to a meat grinder. That's what it'll be if you send them on the ground. They're saying don't allow them to do that. And they've even said that America is going to try to fashion some big old event and blame them. So they're saying this. So that's you, Russell, unfortunately, that keeps falling for the propaganda. But then the other thing is, I'm asking, what about leaving other people the hell alone? Don't you understand? Who made America God of the world to where they could go police everybody else? Now, goddamn well, excuse my French on this fine Sunday, that America is after resources. They don't give a damn about no Iranians. They don't give a damn about Americans or nobody else. They are after resources, and they want to commandeer the Middle East for their homies that are over there in the Middle East, and they're the only ones over there, okay? It is a grand plan. So stop trying to make this about somebody defending Iran. If I had to defend somebody, yeah, I'd probably be on the side of Iran. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people who are tired of the United States sticking their nose in other people's business and sending innocent people off to die for something they'll never benefit from.
Right. And then also, Russell, no shame to you, but see, this is a Democratic tactic. It's a Democratic tactic. Keep everybody afraid. Keep everybody, he's going to send. So Russell says, if Iran gets the atomic bomb, they use it on America. Unfortunately, Russell, you don't know nothing about geopolitics. When more than one country has an atomic bomb, nobody could use it. Malcolm X said that in the 1960s. Nobody could use the atomic bomb. Nobody. They can't use it because guess what? When one goes off, the other's going to go off, and the other's going to, and nobody's going to do that. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's why we spend trillions of dollars on our military warfare. How many of our airplanes do you think actually is converted to carry nuclear weapons? Not many. Everything is conventional, and every missile we fire is over $1 million. Every bomb we drop is over $100,000. And it's all conventional because nobody could use an atomic bomb.
Right. Easy says the African country just offered to send soldiers to help the Bernsteins. That's okay. I mean, I'm sure there's something in it for them or not. I don't know, how the
I think they're talking about the Ghana thing that just joined the European Union. That thing, and and it's another way of colonialism. Ghana gave up basically their rights to be like, oh, we're part of the European Union now, and so now you're going to see European Union staging bases in the country, and they're doing it under the preset of terrorism and all this other BS. It's just another way to colonialize African countries to get to their resources.
They
That's all it
already
is.
doing it. They over there in Kenya right now trying to rope off their own little land in an area. I'm like, oh. Free Thinker says, what year was the Million Man March? 95. It was 95. Vanessa, how you doing? Thank you so much for that. It says, making a way to keep us under their boot because it wasn't illegal to enslave our ancestors or pew us now. Yep. And that's what they said. It wasn't illegal. It's like, well, would you look at that? Facts, not feelings. How you doing? This is peace and love, family. Dr. King was right when he said U.S. is the greatest purveyor of violence on the planet. Yeah, I think everybody knows that, right? But you're 100% right.
Yeah, and I want you guys to remember this too, especially when it comes to our politics. When a president wins a second term, everything that they promised, they don't have to keep. This is why Trump doesn't give a damn. He can't run for office again. So you got to make sure that the person that you're going to vote for in their first term does everything in the first term, because the second term, all bets are off, especially when it comes to Black people.
Absolutely. Say Dr. Mohammed Marandi says that Pakistan may help with Iran's lack of nuclear weapons. We need to stop FA before we FO. Yeah, I think Trump and Pete and all them they've already come to that conclusion. They thought this would be over when it first started. But
they thought it'd be like Venezuela, just go in there, knock it out.
No, they some real gangsters in Iran, okay? They like, we'll all leave up out of here, okay, before we bend the knee. We all will leave, okay? Everybody go.
Hey, do us a favor. Click that like button, you guys. Click that like button on the way out, please.
Thank you. African Native says Iran has a lot of Islamic backups in their backyard. Yeah. And a lot of those other countries are like, listen, United States, y'all got to get y'all bases and go, because Iran, they taking it out on us, and we don't want nothing to do with that, right? Even the UK, Europe is like, listen, like, we'll like help to some degree, but we don't want nothing to do with this either, because Iran illustrated that when we can reach you, we can reach out and touch you.
Shaitan Boy says soldiers and sailors should be here to defend the homeland. They make you swear an oath to protect the people of the United States and not serve as a world terror. Exactly. We can't even defend our own borders, but we're over there halfway across the world telling other people how to handle their borders, violating their borders, but we can't keep people from coming into this country. And then wait, you guys want to know what's really crazy? These liberal Democrats and people that are for this BS, Dimitri, you know what somebody told me? They said, oh my God, we were bombing Iran and all this. I said, yeah. And they go, oh my God, the sleeper cells are going to wake up, and now we're going to be, it means going to happen in the United States. I said, well, yeah, that's why you should have a secure border so that you can vet people that come here, so that when they won't be sleeper cells if we vetted them. Now you're worried about security? I think it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, they've probably been over here for a minute. Yeah, or Sonia says, so I 200% get the term illegal immigrant, but chronically says the real first illegal immigrants were whites. Also, now I doubt you get this, but 9 out of 10 of these countries are hurt or invaded by the U.S. Oh, totally. Yeah, and that is the original colonizer. Roger Jonell says, America is a leader of colonizing, slave making, wickedness, paganism, trafficking, Epstein, and all 7 deadly sins, death and evil, phantom, able, historic. Presently, it says definitely the modern day Babylon eagles gather, feeding off of our mental dead state, aka carcass. Revelations 18:4. America is a criminal and diabolical Gothic. And lastly, Trump, aka liar, man of sin, son of perdition, ruin, all actual facts. Come on now. No, I'm not, Russell. I'm not following Iranian propaganda. I mean, I think it's just common sense. If you can think for yourself and, just see what's going on. I mean, everybody knows that you don't mess with Iran, right? But I guess Trump didn't know that fat meat was greasy, and now he doesn't know what to do.
Right. Well, guys, remember his statement. He basically, and I'm going to speak as a military person who was over there. not Iran, but in the Middle East. He wanted the people of Iran to rise up and topple like they did in Iraq when we went in Iraq to kind of start it off, and it didn't happen. So now he's like, oops. But here's the thing. These people, the problem is we think everybody should be like America, and that's not the case. They miscalculated this by a long shot. These people did not rise up against their government, and now we've stepped into the shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah. I don't know. And you got to also remember, Trump's got a lot of, podcasters and things like that in these cabinet positions and all of that. And so, and Trump ain't really pulling those strings. You got Stephen Miller and all of them, telling them what to do and this, that, and the other. And they amateurs too. They don't have no real experience. And so they bit off more than they could chew. That's what it is. They bit off more than they could chew. They thought Iran was going to bend the knee. And Iran was like, you don't tell us what to do. You don't call no shots up over here, just like we don't do it to you. But I think most people are pulling for Iran. Not that they agree with everything that they're doing, but, the United States is getting a punch in the face that it deserves. How many people are going to, they've watched and they said, their foreign minister said, we saw what they did to Saddam. So we've been waiting for this since 2003. We've been preparing because we knew we'd be next eventually. We knew it'd be our turn. So they said we prepare for this. That's why the United States is spending millions on a weapon to shoot down one of their weapons that costs a couple $100. They said that's just that's our toys that y'all playing with. We got something for your ass though, okay?
Yeah. And it's true. A lot of us military folks that know, you throw a bunch of the cheap stuff out there that's really inexpensive. How many $3 million Patriot missiles do you have in your arsenal before you're done? Israel, if they keep doing what they're doing, Israel will not have a defense shield anymore because they will run out of munitions.
I saw a video of I forget who he is from Israel. He is pissed. He's going off on the military. Oh my God, the Iron Dome is not working. We're running to the bomb shelters all day and night. It's not fair to our children. He is raving mad. It's like, well, how you think everybody else feels? So to your point, yes, their Iron Dome is not working, and now you got all these people who are aiming for you, and never mind, but they still, doing what they're doing to Palestine. All of this is going on. They thought that, the big bad wolf America was going to come in and fight their battles. And Iran says, yeah, we've been waiting for this. We knew this day would come. Y'all didn't know this day would come.
And let's be real. The American citizen is weak as F. I'm sorry. We are weak as F. Even if we drafted young people, no.
Yeah. Joanne says Trump is seriously about trying to make a way for him to serve a third term. Trump be falling asleep.
Trump cannot serve a third term. I wish people would stop throwing that type of stuff out. The Constitution is explicit on that. Regardless if there's a Republican Supreme Court, he cannot serve a third term, period.
Yeah. And I mean, Trump look like, I don't know if he's going to serve it. Let me shut up. I ain't speaking nothing on the man, but you're muted. You're muted.
Let's just say he tries to do that. Let's just say for just argument's sake. Then all our laws mean nothing. We will be living in the wild, wild west because you've got over 7 to 8 million military veterans, not the ones on active duty, because we have less than 1 million, less than 3 million military members in uniform. That people that ain't going to stand. It would be the wild, wild west. The laws would mean nothing. The Constitution would mean nothing. It won't happen, especially if these congressmen would let that fly. Everything would just be done at that point.
Yeah. And of course, Brother Jonah, I think he's trolling too, because it's like, come on now. You know what I mean? Okay, Russell. I'm not trying to change your mind. You feel like America's the greatest country on earth? I mean, you're entitled to that opinion. Free thinker says if 90%.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, we're as many problems as we have, we still are the best thing going on the earth. Go to other countries. Demetra was in the Dominican Republic. They snatched her up real quick. We are still the greatest thing going. We have a lot of problems, but you go to these other countries illegally and see what kind of rights you got. You're not even a citizen there. I'm a citizen of the United States. And that's what they're going to tell you. And
that is true. Iran is the form of Persian Empire, the former Persian Empire. Absolutely. Let's see. I mean, I'm just saying, I know, Russell, I don't know what you own, whatever it is. I'm not quite sure, but I mean, maybe you're watching Fox News. And even Fox News is like, okay, we can't keep selling this foolishness. Okay. It was cool at first. We was like, yeah, we struck Iran and we did this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. But then Iran is like, I mean, they flat out call it, they don't even call it the Trump administration. They call it the Epstein regime. That's diabolical, right there. The Epstein regime is crazy. They're basically telling people, y'all know why this war jumped off. This is a distraction, okay? Potentially. But this has gone over a month. And Iran is still going strong. See, as I heard it explained, it's not necessarily even about the weapons. It's about the money. And Iran was able to stop the flow of money by cutting off the Strait of Hormuz, which moves 20% of the world's oil. They control that. And now the Houthis with the Red Sea, they've already illustrated that they can do it when they did it before, like a year or two ago. So, you know, now they're saying, yeah, y'all not coming through here either. Now what? So as somebody said about Asia and Africa, everybody's going to pay the cost. They're not necessarily in it, but everybody's got to pay for it. And that's how you make somebody heal, is by cutting off the money. And that's what Trump and them, that's what they wanted. They wanted to get the oil and control this. This fool is calling it the Strait of Trump now. That's how delusional he is, right? Like, you got people over there that, you know, all these soldiers that are now getting injured and dying, and you playing. You talking about it's the Strait of Trump. Like, if you don't have anything else to say, just shut up. Just bow down, man, and say, all right, I bit off more than I could chew. I'm waving the white flag. But see, you don't want to do that because your paymasters won't let you. But people got the key in your back, won't let you do that. But that would be the right thing to do, though.
Right. Concerned Citizen says, yes, he can. They can make a law. They are already doing it. Now, Concerned Citizen is talking about Trump's third term. Concerned Citizen, let me tell you this. To change the do you know what it takes to change the Constitution? Do you know what it takes to change the Constitution? Does anybody know what it takes to change the Constitution? They just don't go into the House and vote and say, yeah. The House will vote on it. It has to be a 2/3 majority. Am I correct, Demetra? The Senate has to vote on it, whatever the majority is there. Then what happens after that, Demetra? It has to go to the states. And they need a 2/3 something majority to the individual states. Do you think in America that's going to happen? That's what it's going to take to change the Constitution to give Donald Trump a third term. We're almost halfway through his second term. See, and you know, Demetra and I talk about this all the time. For as great of a country as we are and the education system that we have, why is it that we are not even prioritized to understand how our government works and the rights we have within it? Concerned Citizen, don't know yet. Again, you're no different than anybody else. You probably didn't know this or whatever. You're just trolling or whatever you're doing. But again, that's what it takes to change the Constitution. You actually think they just make a law and all of a sudden it just changes over. That isn't how it works.
Hey, Ricky. How are you? Says Dimitri, you and Don scare me sometimes with y'all topics. I completely wasn't ready for this conversation. Which part of it? The reparations for illegal immigrants or the conversation we're having about Iran? Just curious. So I see that we have been here longer than we wanted to be. Easy. It says D, and they just hit an LNG plant that supply Europe and other natural gas. Yeah. And Iran also like, yeah, we're gonna take out some people's water supplies too. If y'all do it to us, we're gonna do it to everybody else. If we don't have drinking water, then nobody else is gonna have it either. So I don't know. I know the war room exists, but the war room is inanimate. It doesn't have any power of its own unless you have people in there who can really think. And Trump and them, they think they're like in Top Gun or something, right? they maverick. They gonna go in there. We're gonna drop some bombs. What was that? John McCain. He was like bomb, Iran. But see, he was just talking tough, but they wasn't really about that life. And I guess maybe they, thought about that in the war room or whatever situation room with Trump. And again, they bit off more than they could chew. It's not good. America, Israel, they don't know how to get out of this. They didn't, like somebody said, there is no, what's the end game here? Like, when is the, okay, we've won point? You don't win when citizens are paying more at the pump or at the grocery store and everything else that'll be affected. Plane tickets, that's going to more than double. Airlines are talking about canceling flights and a whole host of other things because they're like, hey, we can't afford it either.
Oh, no. I got to get to the DR. They better not be canceling no damn flights.
You better get you a mule or a donkey. Carmen says House and the Senate, both local and national versions. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Ain't nobody trying to see Trump up in there a third term. And Trump may not even make it through this term. Big True Teller says God told me that he was in control, and that's a fact. You're muted.
Oh, you guys got to remember, Trump is old. You guys got to remember, when he finishes his term, how old is Trump going to be? 83, 84?
Yeah.
Something like that. He's old. So we just saw what one term to Joe Biden did. You think that a guy like this is going to have a third term just based on that? His age, it ain't going to happen.
I think people on both sides of the aisle are tired of Trump. I'm pretty sure they're sick of Trump at this point. They're like, okay, that's enough. It was cute in theory, but nah, you got too much going on. You messing with people, and I don't know. Then the fool selling merch inadvertently at the dignified transfer ceremony. It's like, wow. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Then he got the situation room at Mar-a-Lago. He got a lot going on. He really do. He don't care nothing about these people, but he don't care about Republicans or Democrats, because at the end of the day, when this war gets up and running full-fledged, they're not gonna say just send Democrats. Everybody going. Right? So, Donovan, last words.
My last words, Maxine, Mama, Grandma Waters. No, my last words are, you guys, please stop playing into the fear. This is the Democratic playbook. What happened to, what was their thing? 2020, Project 2025. I'm still looking for slave patrols. I'm still looking for, stop being afraid and go look at the facts. Stop leading with your emotions. Please use your logic. I'm not always right. Demetra's not always right. But when you lead with your emotions, it kicks your logic out. Just when somebody tells you something, don't just go with it. Just research it. We say this on the show all the time, and I'm going to be brief. Don't just listen to what we say. Research what we're saying. Because we want you to come back here and tell us, hey, you were wrong on this. Hey, you were right on that, or whatever the situation is. Because we're having these conversations now, and it's so sad that it takes all of this for us as Black people to get here when we've been warned by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Cress Welding, all of the greats were telling us this day was going to come. And it takes this to wake us up. But we've got to have these conversations, not just among ourselves, but among our children and our grandchildren, so they don't make the same mistakes that we made. Unfortunately, I'm a Generation Xer. My parents, baby boomers, they're still in power today. And this is where they've led us. And my generation in general will not have power. It's going to go straight to my children or my grandchildren. So again, don't lead in fear. Research what people are telling you. And again, when they come up to you, oh, Donald Trump did this, oh, Donald Trump, the Republicans did that. What are the Democrats going to do different? What are the Democrats going to do different? I'm always calm when I say that, and they never come back at me with anything. Well, they're going to put you in chains. Didn't Biden say that? If you don't vote for me, they're going to put you in chains? What's going on here? Let's stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
Brother Sam, you and Cali, you're at the West Coast, the best coast. Say that never seen so many food vendors and computers in the street doing delivery. Oh,
did you see all the homeless? And by the way, I'm just going to bring this up. How many of you guys saw the video? I think I put it up on my Facebook page of the Black people that are living in the sewers.
I saw that.
Good topic. If you guys are interested in that, think about it. We've been warning you guys for a long time. Black women and children are the most homeless people in the United States. Here in California, it's going to get hot too. They are living in the sewers. If you haven't checked that story out, Google it.
I saw it. And yeah, they're Carmen, they literally are living in the sewer. Literally in the sewer. You got Karen Bass running around there talking about.
And everybody's been saying this for over 2 years. They've been playing, and Karen Bass all of a sudden is appalled. She knew about this. Remember, the Olympics was coming here and all this other stuff. They don't want these people to be seen. These people are living in the sewers. Black people.
Ryan, ain't that some mess? Talking about, yeah, and Karen Bass was shocked like she's so lame. It was like, if you don't say, she knew damn well, but she maybe didn't know they was there, but they homeless. Yeah, and maybe she didn't. You spent the whole year running around chasing ICE out of parks and screaming and hollering, protecting illegal immigrants. So maybe she didn't know. And the fact that you got people living in sewer, like this ain't not on top of the sewer or next to the sewer. They are in the sewer. Think about what would it take for you to live in the sewer? How desperate would you need to be to live in the sewer? Because you think about it. Of course, they've gone underground because per the Supreme Court, and a lot of these states are using it. They every time they put an encampment up somewhere, they shovel it down, they move them out, and now they can put them in jail. So, okay, bet we can't be on the street. We'll be in the street.
And nobody's talking about the $20+ billion that was allocated for the homeless that Gavin Newsom can't seem to find because there was no oversight. And people want this man to be president. Oh, what state is Kamala Harris from? Oh, she's from California too.
Yeah, living in the sewer is crazy. And she talking about Karen, please. Karen, please. So anyway, hey Kelly, how you doing? Yeah, it's a true story. They go look it up. They living in a sewer. So anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We'll be back here tomorrow. I don't know. We may continue to talk about it. I mean, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to keep talking about this. Before we go, okay. This is my last words, okay. Before we leave, for those of y'all who didn't see it,
Jayapal lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created, and we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
In case y'all thought I was lying, so we may continue this conversation tomorrow because it's one that needs to be had. Sean, you crazy. Talking about, can you imagine walking down the street and somebody hop out the sewer like a Ninja Turtle? No, I couldn't, like it, right? It floats down here. That's not funny. Anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.